Scott looks. I got to tell you, Scott looks like somebody hit him in the head with a 2x4. He's just not recovered. I mean, he looks awful.
He worked hard out there, but I mean, I know he did. He worked hard, and I heard Scott's such a poor Scott. He's such a jinx. So the guys one night decide to party in L.A.
Yeah.
Bunch of guys, and they let Scott come because they feel bad for him. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Let me tell the story. So they're at the hotel, some hotel, and they're having a pool party at night.
Right. It was where everybody else was staying. Okay.
Yeah. Over at the Bellage, I guess.
Yeah.
Scott's out there. Everyone's partying. They're in the pool drunk, having a great time. Scott walks out, falls.
Falls down a flight of stairs.
Yeah, falls down a flight of stairs. And he starts screaming, my legs, I can't feel my legs.
I'm falling and I can't get up.
Yeah, he couldn't feel his legs, right? So now, so they have to, so he starts screaming he needs an ambulance.
Oh, God.
No. Call EMT.
Yeah, so the hotel gets an ambulance. They come up. I don't think they ever called an ambulance, but the hotel comes up to help them. And what do? They go to everyone, you guys cannot be in the pool.
They threw them out.
They threw them out. They had to end the party. Scott killed the party for everyone.
Yeah, the funny thing was, Howard, so I get up there. I went down to change clothes because it was getting cold. So I come up and see Scott laying there, and he's screaming about he can't feel his legs and stuff.
I can't feel my legs.
So I look up, and the rest of the party, people are just drinking and having a good time, just leaving him there, ignoring him.
Nobody even knew Scott fell.
It's like, look at him over there, you know? Yeah. So I'm sitting there with Doug trying to get him up. He's like, don't move me. You know, so I try and lift him up.
And Scott's all mad at me, and he won't come in here. But Scott was the guy who kept, you know, I kept asking him to turn the microphones on. He wouldn't do it. He's mad at me.
There were all kinds of problems over there, and I don't know exactly what went on, but every once in a while I would see you yell, please turn up my mic, or please do something, and then another guy would hit a button because Scott didn't know about that button or something.
The reason I get mad at you is because we'd be sitting there, right? I'd say, hey, Scott, turn up the volume or something. And then you'd say, oh, it's up all the way. And then some other dude would walk over, hit a button, and then the volume was up.
Yeah.
So I get mad at you.
No, nobody would hit a button.
Yeah, there were buttons being pressed.
Okay. I got it on videotape.
Okay.
Have you slept since we got home? You look horrible.
I slept all weekend, but I'm just...
He still hasn't
I'm a mess.
You're stressed out.
I'm not stressed. I'm just...
Yes, you are.
I'm burnt out.
Why are you so burnt out? I heard you killed the entire party when you fell down, and they had to throw everyone out.
They stayed.
I can't feel
How's your back?
What do you mean they got thrown out of the... They got thrown out of the party. They got thrown out of the pool.
I was told they stayed.
No, they didn't. They got thrown out of the pool. Why do you mean they stayed? Casey, did you...
No, the security guard came up and he said, look, we heard someone fell. You guys have to leave. I was there. He kicked us all out. Here's what happened.
Scott's going to argue.
I'm not going to argue.
All right.
I was sitting there. I went in the hot tub. Then I went to go back to my room. It wasn't a flight of steps. There's 2 steps.
Right.
The whole thing is marble.
You'd think you were used to smooth surfaces.
Well, dude, then be careful. Ugh, it's marble. Go ahead.
I stepped down 1 step. It was all wet.
Whenever you come out of a pool and it's wet, I walk very slowly.
I was walking slowly.
It's like walking on ice.
I wasn't running. I wasn't...
What were you wearing on your feet?
Very insistent.
Nothing.
Wet feet. Okay.
All right. So what happened? You fell down.
And I just cracked my back right on the edge of the step.
Yeah. And you couldn't feel your legs?
I couldn't. I'm telling you, I must have hit a nerve or something because I'm still totally sore.
Really? I can't feel my legs.
Yo, Howard, if he would have hit his head, he would have checked out. I mean, that's how hard it was. My whole arm was, like...
It's all right now.
Totally, yeah, it's all right.
You're fine.
My back is fine.
Did they bring you a...
No, they said, let's call an ambulance. I said, no, not necessary.
Give me an ambulance.
And somebody ran down and called hotel security.
Right. Great. And that's when they threw you guys out of the pool.
Yeah, the guy came up and said, we heard someone fell. You guys have to leave. I was just stunned. You know, I was like, it was like sharp pains going through my back.
It's always
really
Scott.
Funny.
Scott ends the party.
The one time you invite him.
The one time you invite him to something, he ruins it. Would you have like a bunch of guys there? Everyone was drinking.
Yeah, everybody was in the hot tub. We were drinking, and Scott gets out. He has to put on a robe. Someone falls on his ass.
And that's the end. And then you got to sit there and attend to Scott.
Yeah, I was trying to help you, bro. You know.
And then there was a rumor in the hotel that Yul Brenner had fallen down. But then they found out it was Scott, and nobody cared. Yeah, they said it looks like Yul Brenner died up there.
You know what the funny story that was making the rounds last week was? So Scott had that mental meltdown when we were at E.
That's when you walked off the show. That's great.
Yeah. But
where did he go?
Well, here's the funny part. The whole thing started because...
what'd you do? Where'd you go?
I went out for a cigarette.
He needed a cigarette. He didn't want it.
The whole thing started because we were playing back that Jessica Hahn phone call.
Right.
It wasn't loud enough. That's what started the whole thing. So Scott leaves.
Yeah, this is great.
The other guy comes in, and he makes the phone call loud enough, and it's great. So we're all mesmerized. We listen to the phone call. All of a sudden, we realize it's low again.
No. I saw Scott came back in from his cigarette. Yeah. He sat down. I was happy. He cooled off. 2 seconds after Scott sits down, the tape goes low again. He touched something.
I didn't. I swear I didn't touch anything.
The guy walks over and then fixes it again.
No, I didn't touch anything.
Hey, Howard, I'm kind of a new guy around here, and I've been on a couple of these broadcasts. So, has this happened before? I was here, the first one was your birthday show in '98. Scott left.
Right.
And it was nappy. Everything was fine. And then this one, Scott left. So it's 2 out of 3 times he left. Does this happen a lot?
He always leaves.
Yeah.
You know what Scott needs? Like this. You know how you're supposed to bleed your radiator?
Yeah.
Let a little steam out?
Yeah.
Scott has to blow up.
But seriously, and I don't mean this in a mean way, I love you. You know I do. I've kept you here all these years, and I've tried to get rid of you. I tell you the truth. If we go on another trip...
more trips?
No, more trips. In fact, I'm planning for Scott.
No,
because,
fine.
I'll tell you why.
That's fine.
You don't need it. You don't need the aggravation. It's too much pressure for you.
That's fine.
We'll get another engineer. Not as good as you, but we'll get one.
I was thinking that the way to handle this, Howard, is that Scott should really be the supervisor, make sure that all the stuff is there and it gets set up the right way, and then we should get a different engineer.
Yeah, out there.
That way he can still be in charge of it, but not have to deal with the pressure.
He doesn't even have to supervise.
You're steaming up? Fine, whatever you want.
Okay.
It's your show.
All right. I just see it's causing you agita.
And we don't want you to get an ulcer.
We just had a lot of problems with the equipment, and that was...
All right. Okay. I don't... They were rehearsing before I came there and testing.
Well, yeah, that first day we were doing it from the E studios, everything was a mess. And then the next day they supposedly rehearsed.
No, we didn't rehearse. We ripped it out and started over again.
And they tried 3 different boards or whatever they did, and we sat down to do the show, and it didn't work.
Right.
Every city, rotten equipment.
What is it, Dominic?
I still think the best part was the bet on the Super Bowl.
Well, that's your fault.
Well, I think I caused the Giants to lose.
Well, I told him, listen, I'm going to bet one way, and I want you to bet the other way. Because I knew what was going to happen. Whatever team I bet on was going to lose.
Right.
So I said, just go and bet against me.
Well, anyway, so
simple.
Dominic gives Scott $4,000 to bet on any team he wants. Scott bets on the Giants. That was it. It was over. Giants shut out.
What actually happened,
pretty much.
I actually had been winning at blackjack when we were playing. So I went over to Scott and I said, I'm going to give you $100 to bet.
What do you call in on? How come I can barely hear you when you call in?
I don't know. He said he was going to borrow $500, which he did. And then he was going to...
You were borrowing money from Dominic?
No, here's the deal. Dominic comes up to me and he goes, I want to play cards with you.
Yeah.
I said, listen, I can't play cards with you. I can't possibly gamble that much.
Right.
I said, if you want to lend me $500, I'd be glad to play with you. Otherwise I'm not going to...
Give me your money.
Otherwise, no, lend me. I didn't say give me. I said lend me.
Scott came down the first night to the casino in Vegas wearing like this suit or something. He was like a pimp. He looked like Pimp Daddy.
He was all dressed up?
Yeah, you were all dressed up for the casino.
I had a sport jacket on, that's all.
I'm a double down.
My casino outfit. Hey, I need...
Sit back, ladies. I have arrived.
I want to look my best in Vegas.
Hey,
He was quite dapper, actually.
Thank you.
Turned around and went, who's he with?
when's the early bird special?
Just get a jacket before.
That jacket was from... God knows where he got that.
Like 1950. Tan tweed.
Really?
It was so fun. And a striped shirt.
Oh, no.
I wasn't wearing a stripe.
And you know, it's my fault.
Of course it is.
I knew I should have let him just bet on
Yeah,
my
you shouldn't have bet the Giants. You don't bet the Giants, Scott.
Why would you bet the Giants? Don't you care about us?
The Giants, no chance.
Such a jinx. Ooh.
Such a trouncing.
Somehow I have a feeling no matter what,
No.
They
You'll
still
never know
would have lost.
because you bet on
I don't think it was me this time.
I lost the bet and lost my balance.
I wish we had a video of him falling down the steps. It was so funny, man. And then you guys were pissed because you got to get out of the hot tub.
I'm glad you laughed and I'm glad you were pissed.
No. He was just laying there.
I got hurt. And,
You what?
Well, at the time it wasn't funny, but now it's funny.
The only one that cared was Doug.
What are you talking about? I was there. I was trying to pull you up. I was trying to drag you out of the thing.
He was trying to get rid of me so they can keep partying.
You should have rolled him right off the roof.
Yeah.
I was trying to drag him up, you know. He said, "Go, no movie." I'm like, "Come on, get up."
Weekend at Bernie's. You were fine.
I
Yeah.
think the best part was when we put the hat over his face.
Yeah, we knew that if Scott was there for the $100,000 bet, we'd lose.
If we could see.
So we had to put a big hat over Scott's face.
Covered him completely.
And then we won.
And somebody, at one point during the card dealing, somebody could see the top of Scott's head, and they screamed, "No, cover it up!"
Yeah, I said that. I saw his head, and I knew we would lose. Then when his head was completely covered, she dealt. We got the 19. The dealer had 12. The dealer hit a 6.
Yep.
Boom, 19-18, we win.
That was really exciting.
It really was. I saw you hung out extra late to see it.
Just to see that, and then I caught the plane.
I'll tell you how much.
He was headed for the airport.
I'll tell you how Scott's life is so jinxed, and it's terrible. So Fred, Stuttering John, I think, and Scott were all in the same plane going home.
Is that right?
And Jackie. So Fred is a sport. He's a nice guy. He sees that Scott and John are back in coach or whatever. For $150, you can upgrade him to first class. Fred says, "I want to pay for you two guys."
Wait,
Actually, just Scott.
That wasn't the way it was.
Just Scott?
Just
John, we're sitting at...
Well, let him finish. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, so...
John already upgraded, and he was sitting in first class. I didn't realize because I figured he'd be sitting there with...
So he wanted to upgrade Scott, so Fred says to the lady, I'll give you the money. It's too late.
It was full.
Well, they just said too late.
Oh, there were empty seats.
Because I said to the stewardess, is there some way I can get my friend up here? And she goes, "No, I'm sorry, you have to go out to the desk." So do we have time? She says, "Yeah, you have plenty of time." The minute I started walking off the plane, the lady says, "Forget it, get back on the plane."
He's jinxed.
Howard, the seat next to John was that?
There were so many empty seats.
John was spread eagled across the
Didn't matter. I didn't care. It doesn't matter.
You don't care.
I didn't care.
At this point, you don't care.
Well,
I'll sit back and lick my wound.
Why spend $150? I can use the $150 for something else.
Oh, no.
The plane was empty.
But you don't have the $150 anyway.
No, I had the money. I just
it was
didn't
Fred
want...
was going to pay.
No.
Yeah, I was going to support for you.
Yeah, no, I realize that, and I appreciate that.
Thank you.
No, but I could have done it myself.
What?
All during the football game, I kept looking at him angry like it was his fault.
All right, Dominic, thank you.
Go Giants.
All right. Anyway, so that's the story of Scott falling down at the hot tub. It's pretty funny.
Yeah. Nice.
Always good for a laugh.
They fall.
Yeah, but you are banned from coming on any future trips.
Fine.
It's enough. You get too crazy, and you can't handle pressure.
That's fine. All right.
You know, and save you $150 for something important like your cigarettes.
Yeah, whatever you want.
He's back to smoking them like a storm.